You know, and you guys probably thought I was just making up some storyline after game one when I said we didn't play well. We didn't play well. This is not the preseason. This is not the regular season. It's not round. This is the NBA Finals.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So here, Michael Malone is talking about the Denver Nuggets not being aggressive. He says that they were outworked by the Miami team, going further to say that they'll need to work harder if they are going to regain home advantage.
And that to me is really, really perplexing, disappointing. Miami came in here and outworked us. And we were by far our least disciplined game of these 16 or 17 playoff games, whatever it is now. So many breakdowns. And they exploited every one of those breakdowns and scored. So if we're going to try to go down there and regain control of this series and get home court advantage back, we're going to have to outwork Miami, which we didn't do tonight, and our discipline is going to have to be off the charts.
Whew. That's what he said publicly. Imagine what he said in the locker room. Shannon, do you like what Mike Malone had to say?
Love it. He was talking about Michael Porter Jr. Because he's the guy that when they ran the guy through, he chased instead of getting back and get the guy to the little flare in the corner, and they kept knocking down three after three after three. Let me tell you what Michael Porter Jr. last night, Skip. Not only did he give you a grand total, a whopping total of 5 points, guess how many assists he had? 0. Guess how many steals he had, Skip? 0. Guess how many block shots, Skip? 0. Guy is making $150 million a year. He's supposed to be your third best player. That's what he gave you last night. 5 points, 0 assists, 0 block shots, 0 steals. Minus 15. Only played 26 minutes. There's a reason why he only played 26 minutes. You know, he probably sitting on the bench, Skip, thinking like, man, I wonder why I ain't in the game. Because they got a better chance with you win the way you played last night with you on the bench than with you in the game. That's who he was talking to.
In the interview, Michael Malone didn't mention any names. He didn't single out any of his players, but Shannon Sharp, on the other hand, thinks that he's talking about MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., who had a terrible game. He was on the court for 26 minutes only, and he didn't affect the game in any way. I can't really complain about his offense. It happens. Sometimes it's not your night. But when it comes to defense, there's no excuse for that. You need to be good every night. Okay, that's Michael Malone. Now let's talk about Kendrick Perkins, who has a different point of view. He feels that the Nuggets should utilize MPJ more offensively, and I totally agree with him.
Michael Malone is calling out his team, but who's calling out Michael Malone? Okay, we talk about how dangerous the two-man game is with Jokic and Jamal Murray, but what happens when that's not going? What happens when Jamal Murray is not going and you do have Jimmy Butler on them, but Jokic do drop 41, and they do start big, and now all of a sudden you taking Aaron Gordon out the game, who are you going to rely on next? And I go back to the bubble, okay? When Michael Porter Jr. actually kind of called out Michael Malone about the offense and said how predictable it is, and I didn't agree with everything what Michael Porter Jr. was saying, but I did understand a little bit where he was coming from. Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10". The only thing that we witness out of him is occasionally he get a cut back door for a dunk off of Jokic, or he's standing and being a spacer. And he's getting the ball in the late shot clock area where he's taking sidestep or step back three-point shots, which is cool because he can actually shoot the rock. But how about utilizing him being 6'10", and at times he may have a smaller defender on him and saying, you know what, let me see what he could do on the low block. Because I do know this, if a guy feels involved offensively, he's going to give you everything and more on the defensive side of things. So while Mike Malone is sitting up here calling out his teammates, he got to look himself in the mirror as well. Because Eric Spoelstra came in and he had his game plan on point last night on how he wanted to dissect and do things on both ends of the floor. So Michael Malone, I get it. Effort was one thing, but I didn't see too many things Michael Malone did as well. And JJ, you talked about it, bringing Jamal Murray a little bit off the ball, spacing and things to that nature. He got to hold himself accountable. He got to be talking to himself as well, not just his team.